Oh, sorry. I needed to add myself. Normally, when I use my tablet, it adds me automatically. But I'm using a brand new, well, I'm using a new system. I'm in the system. Hey, I'm on a laptop. For those that said it was not possible, it is possible. Honestly, I have been absolutely blessed this past week. Unfortunately, we couldn't have the show last week. I apologize again. I had to be in a class and there was no way that I could get out of it. So and there was no one available to, take over the show. I've just seen DJ Abbas. The first time I'm seeing him he just disappeared. Please, sir, come back, oh. I gave you a shout out of my show tomorrow. In fact, every week because I always play music and go, good God. Then when I say good God, I'm always like, DJ Abbas! Because that is his, once you hear good God, just to say the music don't enter. In case you haven't joined DJ Abbas's Inner Caucus show, please drop something to me and I will send the link. I have to ask his permission first because I don't know whether he wants my kule kule people. But send me a message, I'll add you on, and I'm telling you the best music program hands down on Zoom. Because Shaira Wabai, I have regained my name that I used to be bearing when I was small, Okoto. Hey God, because when the music, when Burna Boy says when the music they enter body, yes, so. So, anyways, people be like, what's doing this girl? So, anyways, so of course couldn't have the show last week because I had to go for that class. I couldn't miss it because it is a very, very important class. So I apologize. Don't worry. Today's show, hey, hot. We're going to, use it to pacify and amplify and amplify what we did not do last week. Okay. So I got the laptop by the wonderful blessing of Dr. Seno. I know you won't like me saying his name. I'm going to say it. Dr. Seno sent me a laptop because he knew I needed it for the show. So I was like, you fans, man, why we do pay? Help me to thank him. That's how another person said, do you have a microphone? Because I'm sure you're hearing how my voice is amplified and dignified to be pacified to your presence. That's how Amazon landed. I was like, I didn't order Amazon now. Because money no there for bucket, you. Brand new. Cha straight from Amazon. Deji Shobanjo, my bandmate, we used to be in a band in Osu together with No More Loss and several other people. Yeah, bless them. And I had reached out to No More Loss just a month before he passed. And I regret that I hadn't done it earlier because we were, they used to invite us everywhere. We were good, and I was the only girl in their midst. You know me now. Hey, our alone canary. So, anyways, and he sent me the mic. So I just want to say a massive, massive thank you. I appreciate because this means that you believe in this dream, you believe in this program, you believe in what I'm aiming to do on this program, which is for us to talk, real talk. Hot. Let us not use all these fancy and use all kinds of things to cover real talk that affects the lives of people out there, even our own lives and lives out there. So that's my preamble. Now let me start bringing people on before I actually tell you why we are discussing this. So hey, for the Baba, DJ Abba, let me add you. Welcome, sir.
Ẹ pẹ̀lẹ́ ń bẹ̀ wọn.
In fact, mo fẹ́ faint.
Ẹ má nalẹ̀ o, ẹ má lulẹ̀ o.
I don't want to be like a Kiri.
Hey.
Honestly, thank you so much.
Absolute pleasure. Absolute pleasure.
An amazing big brother.
Oh, you're too kind.
Honestly, the way you take my matter.
Sister, me to sure.
I even wanted to send you a text because I was at the radio station today. I wanted to send you a text. I saw another. This is not Ashake's one, but it was One Day Cole and Olamide.
That's a song. Only me.
Hey,
No, the boys are on fire.
I was cold when I was listening to it. I actually sat down. It was one of the reasons I came home late. I sat down and listened to it 3 times because I was like, no, I didn't watch the video. I now went to look for the lyrics and now sat down. But let me hear the lyrics. Ejo.
The boys are on fire.
They are on fire. They are Yerukus. They are Yerukus.
You know, One Day's been quiet for a while. Olamide is just beginning to show his head over the last few months, so to say. So it's a good one, particularly at the beginning of the year as well.
Yeah.
January. Yes. I always look forward to January releases. January releases set the pace for the year.
Yeah.
So with them dropping those two, Thames picking up, getting a Grammy nomination and winning.
She won. I didn't know
she won. Yeah. No, she's a Grammy winner now. You know, getting the nomination and winning. You know, and it's just like the music thing is on the up and up and up. You know, and long may it continue.
Long may it rain, because we say if I want to go and enter studio. Did you see my Ewi, my Oriki that I did?
I think I missed that one. Oh.
You're lucky, because people were like, Abby, please don't ever do it again.
I don't know. You keep trying to perfect it. You don't perfect things in one day.
Terrible. There's nothing to perfect there, because the guy's name was Ojuju. So I was like, Ojuju Kalaba, Oju Ejalo, Ojuju Oyoyo.
I'll go and watch and I'll give you a review.
So, next person I'm bringing on, this is someone I've known for, if I say the number of years, I will out my age. Decades. We did childhood together, you know, in going into secondary school, came out, and we've remained friends. And she's a sister, a friend, everything. Yvonne Olowo, are you there? Because I can't see your face.
I am there. You are not seeing face.
Yeah, there. We went to military school together. Come on, Spawn, now. Come on, let us see your beautiful face. Okay. Anyways, we went to military school together, and went through the trials and tribulations of being junior air women in Jos together, and we've remained friends and sisters. There's another one who's coming to join us, I'm very, very sure. Nana. And then Prof.
That Agberu.
Sorry, what did you say?
I said she's an Agberu. Let her come.
I will not. I will take everything. I will not take you Yabi Nana.
She just gossiped about you. If you don't know.
She
has gossiped about you today to me. So let me just tell you.
What did you say?
She gossiped about you to me today. So let me tell you now, so that the fight will start.
She gossiped about me to you. Who else is she going to gossip about me to? If it's not you, it's you now. Professor Chris Aimaku, I'm sure you're at work because that's where you usually are. Good evening, sir. And welcome.
Good evening, my sisters and brothers. DJ A, I hail.
Professor Cheche, I greet you.
I remain loyal.
Are you at work?
I am loyal.
I'm chilling. Nigeria.
Hey, praise God. This is a miracle. Because every time you're always at work when you join the show.
I don't want to be sure you understand.
Yeah, I get it.
Nice to be here.
So basically, how has all your days been? Everyone, I hope you've had a good day.
Yeah, I've had a great day. In fact, I've had a great month because I spent a week in Antigua. I came back last Friday. Yes, so I thought I should drop that. I thought I should drop that in.
International.
Global Lomo. So I had a gig there on Saturday, and my client was so gracious, also invited us to this special um on the Sunday, invited us to a private dinner in this billionaire's house somewhere in
Hmm.
the hills in Antigua.
Millionaire, not
But
millionaire.
no,
Billionaire.
below, no, and I'm serious, below. You know, this
Hey.
Antigua is not a metropolis. Antigua is not like Lagos. It's not even like Ibadan. It's like Ikire.
Eh?
I'm, I'm serious. Their
Wow.
high street, their high street is the only part there that has anything to do with the city where the ships birth. Anything after that, it's like you're in a Nigerian town, a small town.
Hmm.
So it's a small town, but it's a country of 100,000 people, and their go-to food is rum. I was having, in fact, if you light a match right next to me right now, I will catch fire for the amount of rum that I had in 7 days. But I came back on Friday, and we left for a week. Came back on Friday, and then had to do another gig. T. Willie's wife was celebrating her birthday, so I was hosting that as well. And then what happened on Saturday? Saturday I had another gig. Sunday I chillaxed, and then today I had that Man City is in trouble. I'm happy. So what else? And that's the whole story.
When they're in trouble, you're happy.
And that's the whole story.
But
But
that is
it's been a fun
amazing.
week.
When I grow up, I want to be like you.
Ah,
Imagine.
I have told you the front. You've
I've
not
been
seen the back.
invited. Sorry, what did you say, sir?
I say, you want to be like me. You've only seen the front, though. If you see the back, you will run.
Me too. I dey try small, small. I know that it is not rice and beans that took you there. It's work.
I
You
bet it.
work, you put the work in the work. So me too, I'm trying to put the work in the work so that you know, I've been invited to come and DJ in a couple of places. People have liked it. Somebody even took my DJ sets from the
Ooh.
radio station and took it to
Mhm.
a party because they were invited to a Caucasian party and they themselves were Caucasian. No, they were invited
Okay.
to an African party, but they're Caucasian. So they took my sets and took it to the party, and everyone was like, "Wow, you're an amazing DJ. How did you get all this music?" So he had to
Yeah.
fess up. He actually fessed up and said, "No, it actually belongs to my colleague." So he came and reported himself to me. So and I know the high I get from that. So I look forward to the Emina Nile Bilonia.
No,
Then go take it back. My shoulder will be like this.
no, trust me. It was fun. It was fun. He had everything. That was where I tried their version of pounded yam and seafood okra. It's not like our own, it's different, but at least we managed it.
Sholata, did he have pepper?
Not really. They don't do
That's what
much.
always disappoints things like
Mm,
that.
yes,
Yvonne,
sir.
how's your day been, girl?
All right, nothing dramatic. Just
Thank
like
God.
me, I'm here sitting down, lying down on my bed. I'm hearing Antigua. I'm hearing my head is just turning and turning on the on, and I'm just thinking, can I just come and enter somebody's suitcase buying? Good evening.
Oh, really, right?
I greet. So don't mind Abby. She made me to forget my manners. Please, good evening, everybody. Me, I'm
Yeah,
a
so
here.
It's a trigger that cost it, no vex.
Lale Ojere, Yvonne.
Who knows? Well, maybe this Antigua will now happen for me if I greet well. Good evening. I'm on my knees. Oh.
Me say, see, look me. See me. Now ground idea.
Because if you Yvonne, you have Netflix. Have you watched Afrobeats?
Yes, I have. I know him. I know. I'm
So,
traveling. When you are in front of people that used to see
Please.
from afar. And Abby, thank you. God bless you.
I
For
am
this
a
one, God will
public
bless
servant,
you.
oh. I work for you. I'm a public servant. I work for you.
I
You.
like this kind of public service. So, hey, God will help us.
Let's
that's
enjoy
how
the
we
front
roll
end.
I'm honored to be in front of a celebrity, sir. Good evening, sir, again.
Yvonne, Professor Chris. Okay, Sister Yemi Jagabiamila is saying hello all. Hand pink waving. She's waving to all of us. Thank you so much, sis. Professor Che, how's your day been?
Professor JJ.
Prof.
Hey, Prof, don't go give somebody injection.
Pure. But he said he wasn't working there, was relaxing. Maybe they've
I
Okay.
can
called
hear you.
him. Okay, I was asking how was
La
your
prof.
day?
The network is a little bit bad where I am, but I'm listening.
Niger network.
Yeah. It's not. It's just the place I'm hiding. I'm hiding somewhere. All right. So I'm here. Well, I've had a crazy week, kind of. I'm on leave, so I'm trying to rest and trying to put some research together and just trying to. And of course, the fuel situation in Nigeria, the money situation in Nigeria. I just decided to just chill out and not disturb myself too much with everything. I'm sure by the time the week runs out, everything will take shape and we'll know where it is. If you give yourself too much trouble, your mind will be running around and you'll be thinking what to do. Me that I like working with at least 50K in my pocket. Nah, I don't get shishi for pocket, but that's life.
Hey,
The money is in the bank somewhere, so we thank God. Nice to be here.
you know, Prof, I've actually been
Life,
thinking about that idea of not having access to cash and my card almost being useless also. And
yeah.
it's blowing my mind.
Well, like I said, I just decided to just not disturb myself too much because if you keep on disturbing yourself too much, it's a problem. I have 3 patients in my private hospital who need to pay their bills tomorrow, and I'm asking myself. I mean, one of them just called me and I said, I've been trying to do transaction, it's not going. But you just have to be patient and hope that things go. Like, even if I don't get my money tomorrow, am I going to tell them not to go? I mean, everything is built on trust. If you want to eat now, if your card doesn't go or your payment doesn't go, you must go and eat in a place where the woman knows you. Otherwise, if the thing doesn't go, what are you going to do? Are you going to vomit the food? But like I said, I just told myself, look, I'm not going to disturb myself, especially since I'm on leave. I'm not. I'm working a little bit at home, trying to complete some research and all that I'm doing. And maybe by next week, when I'm supposed to be at work, back to usage, I'll start thinking, okay, how do I get forward to move around and all that. Of course, I have my fuel stations that sell at exorbitant rates. Since I don't move around, once in a week I call them, boy, I'm coming, and I drive straight to the pump. I bought on Sunday at 350. I'm cool. I think I'm okay. No problem. My wife is the one thinking of how she's going to get meals on the table. Me, I'm just sitting down and I'm chilling. No problem. I mean,
You know, it's fun.
like,
It's fun. It's funny you talk
yeah,
about this. In the last 1 week, Prof, um, I realized before I went to Antigua, I realized that the only time I realized I missed because I rarely touch physical cash
Cash.
any
money.
longer. Yeah, I rarely do. And the only time, and my wife would always say, DJ, but you must always have at least 100 pounds somewhere. You never know when. So
Mm-hmm.
when my nieces come over and they have to leave, like during Christmas, my nieces came over, I'm like, oh God, I need to give them at least, 20 pounds, that kind of thing. Now I have to go to the cash point. I realized I rarely spend cash in the UK any longer. Now I went to Antigua, different scenario, 7 days. I told you the place is like Ikire.
Ikiri.
Um, Now the package I got to go and do this thing was an all-inclusive package. So that has reduced my exposure to cash. I just held 200 pounds, just in case of anything.
City.
In case of anything. But I really didn't have the immediate need to spend it until I went to the town center and I realized, I need to change some money. I wanted to buy party, just regular Jamaican party. And I went to the bank. They said, bank, go around the bank around the corner. And I saw the queue. I'm like, are they giving out something here? And it just took me back to Nigeria 25 years ago, where you see a long queue in the bank. That is what they do on that side of the world.
Wow.
Now, at the same time, remember I started this campaign where I was saying that people who have loose naira change can send it over, we give it to
Yes.
somebody. By the time I came back, thankfully they have extended because by the time I came back, a few other people have posted the thing to me. So I have a bit of naira right now that I need to give to somebody that's traveling tomorrow. So I'm thinking within 1 week, I've had like a taste of UK in terms of currency, a taste of Antigua, and now this Nigeria financial crisis. And it's good to be hearing from somebody that's actually, and it's like the world has just turned itself upside down in the last 1 month.
I'm telling you, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy because my friends in Nigeria, ahead, the bandit is here. No.
Hello, my people.
Welcome.
See, the original bandit is there before me. See, the original bandit is there before me.
The Agbero is here.
Hello, gentlemen and ladies.
Dr.
Hey.
Kenu, please come and join us. Don't stay in the comment section. Come and join us.
Where's my doctor? Say no. I'm here. Oh.
Hey, this is
I'm here. Oh.
Admiral. Hey.
Is your what?
No, it's mutual. It's not just one way.
It's a mutual love, but the love that they have.
Shut it down now. Ofema, mutual love.
We
send me an email later. I'll send the list to see.
Me?
Yes.
Explain to him. Let me explain, my guy. I feel like it's men that come to drop with us. In fact, he will do Sharo.
Emma, you doctor Temi. You cannot.
Now them they chase. Now them they for sure, Nabi.
Now them they rush us.
Now them they rush us. Okay.
At their hearts.
So this is Nana. We also went to secondary school together with Yvonne. And Nana, you know Dr. DJ Abbas now.
Oh, he's the DJ Abbas!
I'm sending the email to you. Email Omagba. Continue. Now then the rush you, Abi. It's okay.
I've heard so much about you.
Hope good.
Yeah, she keeps talking about you. Abby's always talking good about you. And I was so anxious to be like, where's this DJ Abbas? How very soon he will join. Finally.
It's his timing. The devil is a liar.
I tell you.
Maybe you have Netflix now. I told you. Afro.
Abi, Tobato Sole Costi.
I'm going to polarize it. Leave it. Where is Prof? This Nepal has done. Okay, come back. I won't say anything again. Please come back. See how they just hold me. Nana, me, fa. Don't hold me like that. Nepal and the Nigerian situation has held Professor Cheche, but I'm sure he's hearing us. So Nana just give it to him. Dr.
Okay, Prof.
Let me come and join us.
Prof, come back, I beg.
So how's your day been, girl?
Fine, I'm at work. Sorry, I'm joining up late. I couldn't escape till now.
Okay, so let's go into the show because we need to start talking about this thing. Okay. So what brought about me saying let's talk about being bullied as an adult?
Okay.
Because something happened to me last week, and if you watched my Instagram last week, you see that I was on Instagram, I was crying because I was so upset and angry. Like, you know, when you are so angry that you are not shaking on the outside, you're shaking on the inside. Like all your innards are just shaking. That's exactly how I felt. I was enraged because I thought at my age, me, somebody would have been trying to buga me, a Nigerian I fear nobody. Baba la baba tani, who can beat me? You cannot beat me. You cannot do me nothing. If you were planning to give me money, you don't give me. The Lord God will provide another person that will give it to me. Or you understand?
Definitely.
That's why would anybody? Mr. H is here, my lover. Hey, you see my lover. Hello, darling. Whose head did I just see?
You hear man now, you start.
I just saw woman head, oh, Mr. H.
Hey, wow.
Okay, it's a girl.
Oh, Joe.
Welcome, Mr. H.
Welcome.
I was ready to scatter ground. Hello, baby. How are you? Daddy's girl.
See, fathers, let her go and sleep. Let her go and sleep.
It's 10 o'clock. It's 11 o'clock, actually.
You see, and she's still with her dad. Enjoy yourself,
Mm.
please. So basically, I'm in college, and I totally get the fact that being in college means that I'm not always going to have that adult experience. But there's a certain level of expectations you will have with your tutors that, okay, even if I'm in a class with very young people, when I they see my file, so when I know how old I be, which we will not discuss my age here, but so at least give me a little bit of,
That's good.
is it, would I call it respect or just small decorum when it comes to handling me? Don't
Mhm.
lump me with these teenagers and be treating me as if I don't have sense that God gave me in my head. And many things will happen. And of course, the young kids, they will form their clique and everything. And of course, because they don't know my age, but they know that this woman no be our mates. And therefore, that whole dynamic of wanting to form group and bow to me and the group leader. And I'm like, you and who? Who is bowing to who? Please, day your day, I day my day. So I had to go into this place of I come in, go to class, carry my bag, leave, because he was dear Laramfe. Like, I didn't want a case where it would not be like, okay, yeah, she, because again, these kids, not a lot of them have home training. They just
Mhm.
talk to each other anyhow. Shut up there, F you, blah, blah, B words, all kinds of stuff. And I mean, I don't use such language. So one small picking will not come and use on my body. I wonder when Mati, you know. So I keep out of it. But things will be happening in class. The teacher will say, "Oh, can someone say something?" And of course, because at least I know small about this thing, I want to say something. And then these small kids will be saying, "Shut up, shut up, shut up." And it doesn't occur to the teacher to say, "Excuse you, in this class, while we are in the class, so let's have respect." You know, it doesn't occur. And even when I then go, let us try and use small, it's like, oh, you are not their mates, that kind of thing. And that kept going on. And it was not like, hey, fans, me, it's like, I'm not being bullied. Like, you can imagine when you are in the midst of young ones, and it's like they actually are allowed to do whatever they want, say whatever they want, and you can't do the same because number one, you know better, you're grown, and then the people who have the authority refuse to do anything. So then he escalated, Sha. The whole thing escalated. I wrote complaints. I was like, I've had enough of the nonsense and all of that. And so far, so good. We haven't heard anything. It's just there. But it got me thinking because and you know me, how I do. When something happens to me, I don't want it to be like, oh, what is me? I always try and look. Is this happening to other people, or is there something in my behavior that prompted it? So I went online and I read story after story. People being bullied by their colleagues, being bullied by their parents, being bullied by their friends. These are people in their 60s and 70s. So peer pressure is a thing. The situation, as they say, is getting worse. So I said, and as I came on the forum, I said, okay, guys, what do you think? Let's talk about this. And people have actually come privately to say, Abby, this is happening. So people have said, it's never happened to me before, but I'll come and listen. Or some people have said, this is actually happening to me right now. So before I ask DJ Abbas to open the floor for us, I just want to say a quick shout out to people. Matarazzi, thank you for joining. You are an absolute star, honestly. And I know that NEPA or electricity or internet is showing you pepper, but you still make out a way to join. So I really appreciate that. Sister Ibidu, thank you. Thank you for so much for joining. Peter
Yes,
Carlo.
I
Peter Carlo
did.
is my publisher. He publishes all my poems, the poems that, even me, I'm ashamed of them sometimes, but he sees the good in them. So thank God for that. He's here with us. So thank you so much. Thank you for joining us, Peter. And if you've got any comments, please be putting them in the comment section. And don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and share also. But then we'll be able to read the comments as we go along. So, DJ Abbas, what do you think about this topic?
Bullying is a human trait. And if everybody on the platform thinks back, and it is expressed in different ways, some are very obvious, some are kind of subtle. And in my life, I've had to deal with it in different ways. In university, I was the youngest student in my class in university. And I was in the political science class. But in most universities, the oldest students you tend to find are in the political science class. Most of generally. So while I was the youngest, I remember the oldest person we had in our class was a man called Mr. Dada. Mr. Dada was the same age as our main lecturer back then. So Mr. Dada always, he had certain things about him. I realized as I got older that those things kind of like came with age and maturity. And we didn't bully Mr. Dada, but we would tease him. We would tease him. At times we're in the class, they ask a question, and Mr. Dada is the only one that had an inkling about, the answer, and we would tease him. And there was a day he didn't come to class. And the lecturer had to say, Mr. Dada didn't come to class because his wife put to bed. That's like, wife, okay, And we would tease him. Did he see that as bullying? We don't know. Do you get it? Because I'm just trying to draw parallels between your example, which is in college, and our example. Fast forward how many years later now, you're giving your own conversation in a different land. We're in the UK, and some of these things at times are not dealt with hands-on like we would back in Africa. But let's put that aside for a minute. I'm in journalism, I'm in media. And if you look at, I know people in media who are bullies. And they actually use their position as media people to threaten. I've seen them put it to work. I've seen them try to get stuff and put that latent, the person being bullied oftentimes sees it. The average eye may not see it, but the person that's being bullied, they get the vibe. So people express bullying differently. Some people use their position to bully you. Some bully physically. You can pick out a bully, even in a conversation. We are trying to have a conversation, and one person is trying to,
dominate.
Be the one, dominate, and put everybody that bullying comes in different forms. There's bullying in marriage. There's bullying at work. There's bullying in schools. It's a human trait. First thing is the ability to identify it. Because once you start to identify it, then you can now start to think, and how do people tackle it? Some people deal with bullying. Some people just decide to distance themselves from that person. Say, you know what? Let me just keep away from that. I don't want trouble. Some take it head on. Some take it head on and say, Mr. Man, 1B, don't think you can come and be bugaing for me. They take it head on. And you see, bullies are generally very weak people. When somebody takes them on hard and let them know that's what they're doing, you see them pulling, Society is beginning to understand how to identify and deal with them, but it's still a problem because it's a human trait. The worst situation anybody wants to be is one in which you are coming in regular contact with a bully, because it cannot kind of like become a mental health issue for you, particularly if you are the timid type who doesn't like, I don't want wahala, I don't want his wahala, because that's what the bully wants. The bully wants you to, cower and sit back. So at times, my own approach is a very, very straightforward one. First, I will let you know that I know you. I will tell you to your face you're a bully. Because once I do that, half the time, 90% of the time, I've neutralized you. I say, no. We're a group here. Let him speak. Or you're not meant to do that. Or you are in media. And how do I see it? How do I see it in media? I see so many artists that are, particularly in this age of social media right now. So everybody is a journal. Kid
Someone
Teletubbies, man.
saying something and we
And they
can
come with
hear.
Teletubbies. Is it Nana? Nana, are you the one? Are you the one watching
Nana
Teletubbies?
is on work. She's not the one.
Yeah.
so
Sorry,
I
it's a
think
call coming in. I'm trying to get rid of
Oh,
or not
it's you.
answer.
And I was
okay.
defending you.
So
Nonsense.
that's the problem with bullies. Or they one needs to be able to identify it. And as and this you stress that adults, yes, like I said, the human trait. Young people bully. It's the young bullies that become all adult bullies now. It starts with the young bullies, and then when it's not checked, they become adult bullies. And they want to have their own way all the time. They want to be, and they do it in different ways. And that's why I'm glad that when social media started, there were very, very few regulations. But over the past few years, right now, um, um, the systems have identified what they call cyberbullying.
Yeah, trolling.
And no, not just even trolling alone. There are many. Cyberbullying comes in so many forms. And before, because it was not regulated, anybody could just come and pop. People don't understand the impact. Me saying something to your face carries the same weight as putting it on, if not even more, on social media, where more people can see it. And you just see people come and use what they think they have against you and use it, negatively on social media. And a lot of people are going to jail now for cyberbullying. People are going to jail. It could be on WhatsApp. And I manage a few WhatsApp groups right now. And now, because do you know, if, let's say, an image or video that is wrong is posted by somebody onto a WhatsApp group, that person can go to jail if it's a jailable offense. And me, as the admin of the group, it is incumbent on me to delete those things and report them to the police. So if anybody ever shares an indecent image on a WhatsApp group I belong to, and first I have to delete it, and I have to report it. If I don't report it and it starts to spread from there, if it's ever tracked back to that group, I could do time for it. Starting with maybe one maybe. No. This thing I'm talking about is fact, though. So people that use all these platforms to bully right now, there are regulations right now to deal with, to actually handle them. Bullies come in different forms, but we must be able to identify it. And the last thing you want to do is just sit back and continue being bullied. If you have that problem, speak to people, speak to authority, or just take them on and at least try and let them know, hey,
exactly. And in fact, I'd completely forgotten a situation that you are aware of. I think that's where I became a bit confused, because adult bully I can deal with. I'll put you in your place. Leave me alone. And most likely avoid you. Because I've been in a group where you can imagine when people have been gathering and talking about somebody, and the person is completely oblivious until one day the whole thing bursts. Then you now hear, meeting had been called though. What is oreo? Then you're not like, was I that bad that not one person could say, alayewa, there's something going on that you are doing that, maybe a couple of people are not finding funny, that kind of thing. So just gafara. But when it's children, because you are in that situation with them, it's different. Do you want to fight a child? You will still end up being the agbaya in the whole thing. There's no way you want to do it. You are going to end up being the agbaya. And that's where I got confused. Mr. H. Okay, Yvonne. Because Yvonne came before you, Mr. H. I'm bringing Nana back.
No,
Yvonne.
let Mr. H go ahead. Me, I'll just
Mr.
listen,
H,
then I'll give
go
my.
ahead. Then Yvonne will go on. Martha, I'm seeing you. Okay. A few people have been dropping comments. Stayin Kamopola said, you are very correct, Dija. Dr. Senu said, incumbent. And he said, Dija is not a lawyer. Kasana boss. Okay, Mr. H, yeah. Please go on.
Yeah, good day, everybody. And it's a very interesting topic where you're bullying. But when you say bullying as an adult, well, well, I don't know. Well, I've never experienced it before. And what the what one should do is to set the record straight. You know, sometimes, like, okay, let me just give you an example. When I was doing my project management certificate course, we got when we started the course, we I don't know how they do it in other countries. Uh, we you introduce yourself. You know, each and every one of person in the classroom introduce yourself, and you tell them your age. You know, just normal thing like that. You know, and that is when I made it known that, you know, me, I be the egbon for this place, and I will not take anything from anybody. And that is when I made it known that this is the kind of person I am. I'm older than all of you in this place. And so it's that is how I just shut it down from the beginning. And everybody started calling me Igwe in the class. Yeah, that's how it's supposed to be. So people experience it, but I have never experienced it before. I don't know, maybe because I'm tall, and I don't think you come and stand in front of me and want to try and bully me. It will not happen. So, but what I would say is that people need to be called out when they are being bullied. You know, some people don't see it as bullying people. You know, they just maybe just the way of the way they talk or the way they do things, and other people see it as the way of bullying. But people should be called out. You know, to eat. You know, you need to, like as our brother said just now, you need to call a spade a spade. You know, you need to call them out at that particular time, because some people may be doing it and they probably don't know that they are bullying people, or maybe the way they are putting out things. You know, people have even when in my class then, because we had few Nigerians that were there. So and some few Congolese and from Tanzania and other South Africans. But my own way of dealing with bullies is that when you go to a place and you know, you see the atmosphere of the place, and you know that these people probably they are younger than you, and very soon they start to begin yourself and tell them who you are. So by the time you tell them who you are, then you shut it down. When you shut it down, nobody can come and disrespect you or tell you how. Because even my class teacher used to say sir to me, because he knows that no, me and we are age mate, and so we need to respect ourselves. But human beings, being human beings, if you do not tell them, they'll probably think you are, because maybe in the same setting, or because they see you in the same organization, or even at workplace, you know, maybe because you're working in the same company. Like I saw a post some days ago. I don't know which of these platform that I saw it, that the guy is, I think it's in the UK, that he was saying, no, do you know how old I am? Is it because I'm motivation only? I don't know if somebody saw that video. I left their work for them because the boy gone, he cannot be like my son. He's a manager in the office and he's talking in the office. I think it's in the UK. And the man was making a video saying, no, I've left the job, you know, because of the way the manager spoke to him. I don't know what really happened. But sometimes you need to put your foot down. You know, when you get to another organization, or you go to a community where there are people of younger age and you are the elder there, you need to you need to let them know that you are the elder here, that this is where you come from. And when you make that atmosphere, you create that atmosphere, you're not creating fear in them, but they know that this one, you can't come and mess with them. You know, that's the way I do my own things. When I get to a place, when I see that they're youngsters, by the time they look at me, I interact with one or two. I tell them, look, man, me, I'm an OG. So I'm an OG. So don't come and play around with me. So they know. So even
Thank you
before I
very
finish
much,
my
Mr.
course,
H. I want to
they all
take
respect
something from what you said. Mr. H, I want to take something from what you said. And Yvonne, are you ready? Welcome, DJ. Welcome.
I was just listening to what Mr. H was saying.
I want to ask a question, Yvonne, because I know that you, Nana, you guys are married. When the bully, like, and I'm not saying it's in your case, but I'm just putting it out there. When the bully is someone you can't even put your foot down for, in a way, without coming out wrong, like your sister-in-law, your mother-in-law, your brother-in-law, and they're like, oh, I'm teasing you, but the teasing is not, if someone is saying a joke and only one person is laughing, and the person that is laughing is the person who is saying the joke, then it's not a joke anymore. It's an insult to the other person. But if it's a joke, then two people will be laughing, right? So you hear some sister like, no, we're just playing with her. Or the person you're playing with is not finding it funny. You understand? Then how do you deal when the dynamics change? Because someone asked me a question, I'm going to answer that question to explain the dynamics, but I want to hear what you think about that kind of dynamics.
Can I answer that?
No, I want Yvonne to, please. Then we'll come back to you. So hold the thought for me, please.
That kind of I don't. So because I haven't necessarily been in that kind of situation, so I don't know how well when it comes to like that kind of close family member, it will be hard for me to respond to it. But I've been in a situation where someone's done something and they say it's not personal. It's not personal. So we've got this thing that we I think we learned sometime at work about communication and how you shut down from work and how you see things from the eye. The iceberg thing where you just only see the tip, but you don't, and all that. So when you're leaving work, just see that maybe the way people have treated you or behaved towards you. You just see it as it's not personal. So don't take work from home and stuff, and take work home and all that stuff. But then sometimes it's personal. It's your position that is being attacked, and yes, it's a position, but it's you as an individual that is affected. So it's personal. So if I look at it from that side, that angle, it will hurt.
Anita, please put on your camera.
It will hurt, especially if it's coming from someone that you're supposed to hold very close to your heart. There's no way that it wouldn't hurt you. But how would you react to it? It's either you take it up head on, like previous speakers have said, either you go head on with it to establish that, no, I'm not going to stand for this. Or you cow down, and if you want, like for me as a woman, let's say, for example, if it's someone like my sister-in-law, my mother-in-law, I don't want to, and if they're older than me, and I don't want it to look like I'm being disrespectful, I'll probably speak to my husband and say, can you please just talk to your family member, because this is what has happened. And honestly, this is how it made me feel. I either feel I've been gaslighted, or I feel I've been undermined, or I feel like someone's just treated me in this manner. And if I'll watch his reaction before I'll know what next to do if I find myself in that sort of situation. You get what I mean? Because I'll be able to, if it's not the first time, and if it's the second time, I'll be able to say, you did it the last time, I didn't talk, but this time I don't think it's fair that you're doing that to me, and I do not think that I will stand for it, because it's absolutely not funny anymore. So I don't know if I've answered it, but that's
you've actually covered a couple of other things I was going to go into, but so Nana, so I'm just going down the slide. So Nana, next, then Matarazzi, then DJ. So what are your thoughts
on what, bullying generally or family?
What if it's, again, looking at different dynamics of it? So what if it's a mother-in-law who is, this one, because again, I watch a lot of Nollywood. I watch a lot of Nollywood, and you see where the mother-in-law will come in. You have not cooked for my son that I gave my two Bobby to suck, and this one and that one. Yeah, you are suffering my son. And then the sister Sue will come. Our brother's house is our house, and go and get us food to eat. Like, and like I say, oh, God help the woman, she hasn't had a child. Hey, God, that's another one altogether. That bullying is on fleek. So looking at that aspect, but then maybe something that you yourself you've
Okay.
experienced.
Yeah. Hello, everybody. Once again, I'm going to talk about this in-law part first. Um, I was blessed. I had an angel for a mother-in-law who always took my side, even against her own people. She saw nothing I could do no wrong. So I can't really say the mother-in-law part. But yes, there are some cousins and all that along the line who were in that kind of, gave me that kind of attitude. I would not call it bullying because I don't really believe an adult can be bullied. But yes, an adult can be intimidated, can be undermined. That's the way I see things. So yes, they try to intimidate me, undermine me, and I give it back to them as they hurt. Because at a point, you take it in, you swallow, you absorb, you like, okay, it's in-law, it's in-law. But when I noticed one of them, no, actually two of them we had incidents with like that, they weren't going to back down. They kept expecting me and always rubbing it in that they knew my husband before I knew him. Like, we go, one of them, the cousin, she was so into, I think she wanted my husband to marry her friend and it didn't work out. So I wasn't exactly her favorite person. So one time, maybe something about food, and she said, no, he prefers it like this, he prefers it like that. I'm like, so anyway, I swallowed once, twice. Then the next time, one time, when I had enough of it, she looked at me one time. She's always like picking faults in what I do. So one time she looked at me and she asked me in Hausa, like, what kind of veil are you using? Because I was putting on a veil over what I was wearing. What kind of veil is this one again? And then I just responded, is the veil for Mboko, that's the educated ones.
Whoa.
I say it's for we, the educated ones, the ones that went to school, the ones that have degrees. That's how we dress. And that shut her up. Another one came one time, she says, and I gave her something like that. And actually, you know what? I didn't insult you, but now I'm not going to take that from you. And they stopped. Because sometimes when you just keep like, let me just ignore, it's not going to go away. You have to take a stand. So it's either you fight or you flight or fight or something. I think that's the same situation here. Yes, and talking about schooling or living in a different country, I grew up, of course, we all know, I grew up in Nigeria where respect is respect. From Generation X, and everybody is sir or ma or something. So I wasn't used to an environment. In all fairness, where I come from, Kano, people, a child of 10 could look at me and call me by name, but it's not being rude about it, just the way we are. So when you come here and then, you see, I went to school, I did a course here, and in the school was that wasn't the first time. The first time when we were going to open a store here, I realized I had a lot of deficiencies. One, I didn't know the currency of this country very well, and I didn't know how to talk, I'm in the US. I didn't know how to speak American English. So I say one thing, and people are like, excuse me. So I like, see, I have to perfect it. I have to understand what people say. They have to understand what I said. So I tried to go and work at a gas station. And that's one of the worst places to work. I saw I saw America for what it was there. So anyway, I got intimidated. A lot of people, like, they couldn't understand what I was saying. Some even said, go back to your country if you can't talk, Others were polite, others were patient with me and all of that. But along the way, I learned a lot. And that was it. So when I would try to go to do a course, the class I found myself in, I was among the oldest. In fact, I was the oldest until I realized I had a class age mate and two others that were even older. So they were polite women. We're all women, okay, and one guy. And they were all polite, nice, no curse words, so we're like that. Nobody bullied any other. Until one person who happened to be my age mate in the class, she always felt she was better than everybody. And she was always trying to lord it on people. I know this, you don't. So it was a course I studied aesthetics. And she already had an existing herbal business or skincare business. So when people say things, she shuts them down. I'm in a position of knowledge. I know skincare more than you. I know this more than you. So here comes me, who does the same thing. And I'm from the motherland.
Come on
So
now.
when she says one, two, I'm like, nope. Like one time we had an issue on honey. She was like, no, manuka honey. I'm like, stop there. Don't go any further. So I started checking her because she would lord that. She kept throwing the fact that I was from Africa to me, and that got to me. I'm from the motherland. That's why I see where I don't want to say it on air, but well, where you know what we are. But anyway, that passed. Then I had to change classes because I lost my teacher. So the next class, the next teacher I had, the next batch of people I joined were the direct opposite of these people. They used all curse words, which I'm not comfortable around. I'm not comfortable about curse words at all. So that's why I always used to attack you, Abid. I don't use the F word. Never use the F word. You know, I used to always tell you, I'm not comfortable with it. So I go on and I say, so I realized the teacher in that new class was like that. She wasn't going to stop them. So they say it, but luckily for me, you see, this is an identity. That means don't say it near her. Don't use those on her. So I decided to just be invisible in the class. When it gets too much, I walk away because there's nothing I would say that would change them. So it's either I be like them or I walk away. So the teacher, funny enough, she respects me a lot. She was originally from Nigeria. So, you know, she always looked up to me like an elder sister, but she couldn't help herself too. She couldn't help her class. After a while, luckily for me, as I was thinking of how I was going to survive with my life, they brought our former teacher came back. So I went back to decency. But you see, when you're living in a country like this, there's really nothing you can do. They will never understand it. You'll just be fighting a losing battle. If you try to correct them, it won't work. So it's either you just like, see, I'm just here for a short time, which will soon be over, and just ignore them. Or I think that's just the only thing, because you can't say you're going to drop out of the course now.
That's the thing.
So you just ignore them.
Nana, that was the way I was going, because the eldest person in the class just turned 20. So look at the difference. Like the nose is far from the forehead.
Yeah.
Like we are not. There's nothing we can even say that we can find common ground. And then because I'm the only Christian in the class. I'm the only black person in the class. I'm the only elder person. So there are many things that differentiate me in that class. The rest of them are atheists. They are children who they don't know anything. Atheists anyways. And every conversation is about their sexuality. I'm bi today. And I'm like, I don't care who you sleep with. So who I sleep with is none of your business. Leave me alone. And for example, yesterday, I was sitting down waiting to do our auditions, and one just started screaming at me. And I said, hey, I'm not that deaf. You don't have to scream at me to tell me what you want to say. And she's like, well, I just want to scream at you, blah, blah, blah. And I said, well, usually people who shout that loud, they really don't have anything to say. So they scream a lot so that it seems like they're saying something. Knock yourself out.
Okay. What you just said works, but you know, in some cases, they already predict what they already know what you're going to do. They know what they can elicit from you, what kind of reaction. So give them the opposite. So that kind of thing. Somebody's going, okay.
That is my response now. Okay, and that okay is never enough. It's still no. Let's be worse. Let's start using profanity, using her faith. So like today they were going, oh, Jesus they were saying Jesus is a ghost, Jesus is a whatever. They were saying it in class, and I just kept my head down and just kept working. So like it's like they sit down and plan, what are we going to do in class today? And the tutors are there, and this crap is going on.
Yes, and they will not do anything about it.
They're looking for some form of provocation.
Yeah, there was this thing, I don't know, the general understanding is that Muslims are aggressive.
Yeah.
That's the general understanding. I'm the only Muslim all the classes I ever been to. In fact, the
Hold
whole
on, Peter,
school.
I need to move on to Martha. So because I don't
Okay.
want it to be that we are dominating
Yeah,
the.
yeah, sorry. Just what you said right now about religion
Yeah,
is what
yeah,
reminded me.
finish that. Yeah.
So there was a time in the class, one lady got up and was talking about her previous experience at a massage parlor where the one of her colleagues was always having customers. They're always men, they were always asking for that particular colleague who was a Muslim. That she now found out that the reason why they were asking for her was because she used to give happy endings. So the day that colleague was at a fat now, or something like that, the day she wasn't around, that one of our customers came and met her, and then she did what she could do. Say, but partner does extra. And she said, "Oh, I don't do that." Then she said, "That is what I, in the class." So as she was talking, people had started looking. My head was down. I was pretending I wasn't listening. So then as people are already shooting me looks and laughing, but trying not to, make it obvious they're laughing. That's the second class, not the first matured class. So she now said, that is it. So that's why she got all the customers. All these Muslim women that claim to be holy, that cover up, what they really do is worse than the rest of us. And I still did not look up. And when I got up, the class now fell silent because it was obvious there's only one Muslim lady in the class. So when I was going out and I said, really, some of us are really innocent. And I just walked out and I didn't say anything else. So yes, they will target you. It's normal. It's normal.
Of course. Okay, Martha's just sent me a message, so we'll move on. And DJ, no, okay, DJ, before you come, so because people are dropping us serious hot comments. So let me quickly read a few. Then DJ, you come on. So let me go straight back. DJ Abbas, I hope you're still there, because I think some of these are aimed towards you. So Dr. Sene says, Mr. H talks. Nana looks very serious until then. Sister Vito said, "Good evening, DJ." So DJ is saying good evening to you. And say,
which of the DJs now?
Just saying, the Wonder Queen. Thank you. Then Sister Yinka Popola says, Abby, a question for you. Did you go to the professor's office to talk to him about the attitude of the students in the class? I will discuss with him privately before dealing with it in the class. Okay, they're actually not professors, they're tutors because it's college, and there are different tutors there. And of course, I would go, look, this went on in class. I'm not enjoying class. I'm not. They'll tell us to do something, and again, the way a lot of things were being handled, that these are young people. They will gravitate towards themselves. So when you want us to do group work, the sensible thing is to split us up and say you and you together, you and you together. Instead, it will be you guys pick who you want to go with. Then they pick whoever they want to go with, and then I'm standing by myself. So many times I'm standing by myself doing classwork that I'm supposed to be doing in a group by myself. And there's nothing I can do. I can't now say in class, I force them to add me to their group or whatever. So I just do whatever I want. And I had to start working with, because they brought DJ said he had to go. Yeah. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. So, I would mention it. Help me now. I'm like, well, you're an adult and you're older than them. I'm like, what has my age got to do with the fact that I'm also a student? And you keep talking about British values and everything, and you say respect is one of them, but they constantly disrespect me in the class, and you have nothing to say. So, what has the point of me being a student? What is the value of me being a student if you're always going to be going with my age? Oh, you're older than them. Oh, you know you're older than them. Yes, I know I'm older than them. However, that is not the point. I came here to be a student. And they said, oh, adults don't usually stay long in the class. I said, I wonder why. Because if you can't even just make sure that things go well, that they're copacetic in the class. Now, if we step out of the class and I stay and I go and start playing with them and then they insult me, well, that's my own problem. But when I'm inside the class where you, the tutor, is, I expect, that's part of my psychological contract with the tutor, that you will make sure that everything goes so that nobody feels free to insult me. But when they do nothing, they don't talk to them, they don't say anything to them. These are kids who I'm very sorry to say have absolutely no home training whatsoever. So where do we go from there? So that's the situation that I found myself in. Anyways, let's so yes, I did speak. That's the answer. I did speak, but nothing happened. Then Dr. Sender said DJ is getting ready to fire away. DJ is reloading. DJ Abbas has left, oh, he did reload though. I don't know what happened. Then Sister Vito said, so no nana yeah Aiki.
That's your hello, sister. I.
Uh-huh. So then Dr. Sender said, while it is true that everyone is minded to become emotionally intelligent, one cannot tell someone who has felt bullied how to feel. Unfortunately, there is a lot of toxic behavior or subtle narcissistic behavior out there. There is gaslighting and manipulation. Don't take it personal. You're too sensitive. Beware of such phrases. Then there is the alpha male and female syndrome, where posturing, domineering behavior is hidden in being outspoken and frank. That's true. I experienced that one. I just being frank. I'm just telling you the truth. Meanwhile, they're just being bitches.
Mhm.
Forgive me, people. Nana doesn't like that I said that. I apologize. I apologize. um and then people who feel they must always tell the truth, say their own truth, and then try and make it gospel. Looking after oneself is paramount, but awareness also means that learning to deal with bullies is not always doing it their way. Bullies are not always loud or aggressive, but they are no less toxic and unpleasant.
Mhm.
Wisdom means recognize them and deal with it with whatever works, not one's one preconceived way. Coping mechanisms means never be predictable and a sitting duck. The seemingly non intuitive way works best. There is no shortage of help if one looks for it. Okay, so those are the comments. So, DJ, over to you because I've
Yeah,
been told that
thanks.
you are ready to.
This whole thing about bullying. I don't know if anybody saw this video that's been going around today. Something that happened in Ashford, where this traveler woman came with her daughter, and I don't know who it was, and he got these girls to beat up on this black girl. Um, I mean, first of all, she sent the first girl to the black girl, and they were like in a fight. And she was egging her on. And then while it seemed like the black girl had the upper hand, she then sent a couple other girls, and they were beating up on this girl, right? And I think I was sitting there, I was fuming. Two things were making me fume. It wasn't even the kids, it was two things. Number one, the woman who was egging them on, someone needed to come and give her a proper slap, African slap. The woman who was egging them on needed that. What for me was most disappointing was people just stopping in their cars and
I'm watching.
saying the. I'm thinking, are you guys mad? Are you guys mad? How could you see this and just sit there and watch in disgust? I don't care whether it's disgust or pity. Get in there and stop it. Now, why am I talking about this? See, bullying happens. And bullying happens for a number of reasons. Bullying happens where the person who is bullying is coming from a place of either real or perceived greater than. So it could be, I've been here longer than you, right? So it's whether it's in a country or it's in the place of work. It could be, well, I am smarter than you. Or it could be, they're just more confident than the other person. Or it could be, we are more than you, right? It could be, it's just a lot of, or it could be, I am a man, you are a woman. I am older, you are younger. You know, that sort of thing. I am rich, you are poor. So there is this sort of thing where that tends to happen. It could be something, I'm very confident, you are not so confident. I'm good looking, you are ugly. You know, them things, it's usually where this thing stems from, when one person feel like they have the right to treat or talk to another person in a manner that is devaluing and disrespectful. Now, one thing, it happens, and it can happen anywhere at any time. It could be a boss, you know, it could be a colleague who happens to be better at the job than you are because they've been doing it for longer than you have, right? It could be anything. Now, I think one thing I want to talk about first of all, if I dive into very quickly, because I know we don't have a lot of time. Before I dive into what you can do when you're, because anybody can be bullied at any time. But really, I think the biggest thing is being an ally. I think the only thing that is worse than bullying is standing by when someone is being bullied. It's worse than bullying. It's standing by, especially when you perceive. Sometimes someone's bullying somebody in the office, and then people sit there feeling uncomfortable and they don't say anything. Why would you do that? You know, why would you do that? And then later on, you can say, can you see what that person did? How could she do that? That was nasty. Then why didn't you do anything when it was going on?
Why didn't you say something?
So a lot of times when people are being bullied, they usually, maybe in that moment, are either stunned or shocked, or they just don't know how to respond in that situation. They're not sure how to respond to that behavior. It's always good when you're in that sort of situation. And that's one thing, is it's easier to stand up. Sometimes in that situation, it's easier to stand up for another person who's being bullied, because the emotional impact on the individual when it's happening can be so huge that they're so shocked and taken aback, right? And difficult to handle because of everything that's going on inside of them. It's easier to stand up for the person who is being bullied, a lot of times, for the person who is being bullied to stand up for themselves. Unfortunately, many of us don't. Right? And that's one thing I probably want to advocate first of all, because bullying can happen to anybody at any time. Right? And standing up against and challenging the bully and just pushing back, say, you know what? I don't think that's fair. I don't think that's right. You know, that sort of thing, just firm and polite. Quickly just challenge them and stop them. Because, you know, I think it's something we need to do. Now, when it comes to when you are being bullied, and it can happen, I mean, you know, like certain examples, I think the biggest one is when you're being bullied by a group. But usually as a leader. Right. Usually the group has, but you know, it just takes the one leader and everyone's. Now, the one thing I will say is, and it sounds weird, but how do you stand up for yourself
in a group?
You know what? Sometimes if you're not able to stand up in the moment, it's okay. If you're not sure what to do in the moment, because sometimes the truth is, this is it. Sometimes it's better if you're not sure what the right thing to say in the moment, you don't need to say anything then. So don't feel bad that you didn't say anything in the moment if you didn't. You don't have to say anything in the moment. Some people are very quick on their feet to think of the right response in the time to challenge and push back. And that's okay if you're like that. If you're not like that, it's okay. But what I would suggest is, one, if you feel confident enough, you know, when everything's calmed down, to go up to the person and be very, very clear. When we were in this place, you did this. When you did this, this was how it made me feel. I would rather you never do this again. And sometimes some people, the fact that you came up to them and says, you know what, this is what happened, this is what you did, this is how it made me feel, I would rather you never do it again. And for some people, you might get an apology. Some you might, right?
I'll whistle for it.
Some people, they'll even escalate it further. That's when I would probably be a little bit firmer and say, okay, I've kind of told you I don't like this. If it ever happens again, I will have no choice but to do whatever it is you're going to do. Report to whatever, do whatever. If you do that and it still doesn't happen, then just keep escalating it. That's the thing. Go up to whoever and say, this thing happened here. This person did this. I went up to them and I told them this. It's happened this. What are you going to do to make sure it doesn't happen next time? So if I'm going up to the authorities, what are you going to do to make sure it doesn't happen next time? It's not, I'm not happy about it. I'm not saying I'm not happy. I'm asking you to tell me what you're going to do to make sure this never happens again. So put the onus on them. So
in my own case, they'll tell you, well, you know, you are older than them. They're children. There's nothing you can do. You know, you just have to understand that you're older.
Let them talk. What I'll then say is, yes, I do know I'm older than them, and I acknowledge that. but I'm a student just like they're a student, and you have a responsibility to make sure we're all treated with respect here. So what are you going to do about it? It's called broken record. I'll
My
keep on
dear, I
transferring
don't
the
talk this to you,
responsibility
Taya.
to them to do their work, because that's their job. And if they can't maintain order in the college, then shut the place down.
But they wouldn't.
Basically, be difficult. Be difficult. And if you're another thing is find an ally. Sometimes it can be tough doing this on your own, and that's the truth. Sometimes it can be really wearisome. That's why it's always good. I keep saying to people, be an ally to a
It's
person who's
hard
doing
to
good.
find allies when people are more comfortable sitting with the gang, with the group, because now they're afraid that if they stand up for you,
They
they
will be
too will
bullied
get
as well.
bullied. So they'll rather just be like, you too, can it come? And especially when the thing comes from nowhere, you had no inkling that
Can I
this
share what I
is
would
the thing
suggest
that
you
is
do?
going on.
Can
And
I
then
suggest? Sorry, Abby, apologize for butting in.
no, no,
What
no,
is your
no, go on.
local? What is your local newspaper?
Oh, bruh, no do.
No, listen. The thing is this: if they're not hearing, so you've told the student, if this happens, I will do this. You've gone to the authorities and they're still not hearing you. Then say, if this happens again, I will go to the news shopper.
My guy, the ordinary small reports where I go reports, one of my classmates walked up to me. This is one of the few girls that would be like, oh, hi, hello. Walked up to me and said, you know you're being punished, right? That's what she said to me, oh, her to my face. You know you're being punished. I just looked at her, I started laughing because, because again, I've come from where I'm in a group of people. I'm thinking, we are all copacetic, we're helping ourselves, we're having a great time. And actually there was angst and everything. She always has to talk. She always has something to say. And did not know, because I can be quite obtuse sometimes. And then all of a sudden, it was a flood of complaints. Not once was I ever pulled aside by one person and told, okay, maybe you're talking too much in the group or we don't like it, that kind of thing. Nothing. All at once. So it's made me super wary about groups. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Once something starts to happen, I'm like, I beg, I don't get energy. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So when that case happened, and I was just like, this can't continue because this is now affecting my learning. This is affecting my own learning, and I need this to stop. But I went, reported, wrote a report, everything. And that same evening, the very same thing I had said, please, can I just be given the respect and free, space? Let nobody talk to me. They gather me like fly.
So I
And of
think the
course,
thing is,
started yanking me from here,
of
yanking me
what
from
you're
there. So
sharing is that
Wait, sorry. Yanking you, like physically yanking you?
no, like
Oh, okay.
things I've been rehearsing for
Oh, okay.
months.
Okay.
Suddenly I can't do them now.
See, the complexity of what I'm hearing here is there's a case of bullying, but there's also a case of weak leadership. So it's now a pretty complicated situation, if you get where I'm coming from. So there's bullying in one situation here where you're challenging, you're pushing back, you're not getting the support, and then you go to the institution and and a lot of times I can see that a lot of times this is what leaders do, weak leaders. When someone brings a problem that is outside of just running things, they just want to pray and wish it goes away. So they'll just say, don't worry, blah, 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 and they don't want the stress. But that's what they're paid to do. The thing is, they like to earn what I call the easy money, but they don't want to earn. The thing is this, there's a reason why there's a big pay gap between leaders and frontline staff. Because frontline staff do the ordinary, regular day-to-day stuff. Leaders do the regular day-to-day stuff, and they also have to handle difficult situations. Now, what a lot of leaders do is they do the regular day-to-day stuff. When there's a difficult situation, they just want to bury their heads in the sand and hope that it just passes over. So hope you stop complaining. Hope that you just...
Or hope you drop out of school.
But
that is the thing. That is what I think the whole
because they're like,
the
let's do,
whole
you know,
push
people
is
come
that
in, why should da
she
da da,
go tire
and they're
come out
hoping you
from the
leave.
school
So
going
they're
bang.
just hoping something would happen and this difficult thing would go away because they don't want to deal with it. But that's what they're paid to do. Personally, I mean, that's what I would do. I would really say, I'm really struggling
I've
here and
been
I need your help.
asked at least 5 times now, why do you keep coming back?
Oto,
By
did
and
I
I
talk
know
too
that some
soon?
of them were sent to come and ask me that question. And
Hmm.
some genuinely have asked me out of concern that why are you putting yourself through this? But I came because I want to learn something. And why should the response be, why are you coming back?
Okay. But see, in my own opinion, really,
Yeah.
I think, as we said, it's obvious for one reason or the other, or maybe many reasons, they don't want you to be there. They want to frustrate you out. Authorities are not helping. The student body are not helping you on your own. So what I would suggest you do is, it's your battle. Only you understand yourself, and you're on your own with no backup. So you want to finish that course, or you want to drop out.
I'll go finish and their papa.
Then whatever it takes, ignore fikpara. I don't know how to say fikpara in English. Whatever
Using
they
rubber
do, use a raw body. You understand what I'm saying? Just ignore and keep develop a thick skin. Whatever they do, look through it. They're talking to you, look through them. They're invisible, and do whatever it takes to stay. Remember that I've forgotten now what state is it, but it's somewhere in the US. Right? He was the only black man in the class. They were all white students then in the university. And then they even gave him his own desk. He couldn't sit down. He had his table and all that separated from the rest of the class. But he finished. And every time the same thing, they used to ask him, why are you still here? Like after all said and done, why are you still here? But he's endured. So I think we are at that point. Nothing is working for you. Even if you keep reporting, it still won't work. So just know you're on your own. It's a battle. You just either and you are sure you want to finish, you're not going to give up. You're not going
I
to
go
quit.
finish their
So
papa.
finish. Look at them. Say, "God, we die here." Bring up your Nigerian spirit. Whatever they bring, we die
No,
here.
the
That
thing is that I've
attitude.
not decided to like once I realized that okay, me going to go and report has added to my problem.
Exactly.
I've not decided that anything that like today we were doing reading and there were two of the main ringleaders among the students got to tell my character shut up. And what one of the things that had caused problem in class was me saying, how can I be in class and children are telling me to shut up? Especially when you asked us to say something. I'm responding to the order you gave. Then classmate is telling me to shut up, and you, the tutor, cannot tell them that, hey, stop it.
Mm.
Now you now gave us parts, you now gave them parts to be able to say shut up to me in the play. And I said,
Mm.
so they were like, yeah, shut up, shut up, shut up. And I said, have fun with it. And I just continued what I was doing. I
Mm-hmm.
have fun with it, and I just continued. So I've just decided that now man I enjoy it myself. I don't even go bother myself again because but I also know that I can be super snacky because one
Mm-hmm.
was like, you're so full of yourself. I said, it's not my fault if I'm more intelligent than you. What do you want me to do?
And that's another thing. I think the intelligence is intimidating them.
I'm not going to make myself stupid because I'm confident. The thing is that what you should be praying is that God will bless you to reach my age, so that you too you will be confident and intelligent, not that you'll be vexing over my own. Yeah, you know. And then, but this is the crazy thing: if they go and report and say, "Oh, she called me stupid," they will pull me into a room faster than Carl Lewis and be like, you are bullying them, you're saying this, you're saying that. You understand what I'm saying? So that's where the wala is. Let me quickly read some comments. Matarazzi said, I believe in test running your madness. Sometimes test run your madness. Let them
We
know.
died here, man.
Everybody, as
We
DJ
died
said,
here.
it's difficult. Oh, she's even here. I wasn't even looking. Oh, yeah, Matarazzi, take it away.
Hi, Abby.
Hi.
Hi, everybody.
It's so lovely to see you as
Hello.
always.
First of all, I'm so sorry you're going through all that. That must be a lot, especially like from a place where you're going to get something for yourself. That must be a lot. and I don't know. I was bullied as a child in secondary school. So, and I mean, never really got to me per se. So usually, like in my head, I just use, because a lot of the people who bullied me, like they're a doll in class, like so it never got to me because, like, in my head, I'm like, yeah, right, this is where you can speak. Go and pass your test. Let's know. So, like, it never really bothered me per se. And, like, I had a sharp tongue as well. So, but then now as an adult, because of those experiences, I can't stand to see anybody being bullied, like anywhere, as in, I carry people's matter on my head. Sometimes it's led me to trouble, but it's like it doesn't take anything to be kind. Like there's no reason to just be the cause of another person's, like, there's no need for all that. So, but however, it's I believe that, honestly, because there's that whole be the bigger person thing. Yeah, that's all nice and rosy, but you really need to let people know, because sometimes deterrence, like, is like, just a little thing to tell them, like, don't try it, don't do it here. In, like, Nigeria, everybody, like, there's bullying everywhere in Nigeria. Like, people, just for the sake of it, like, people would just feel like, just because, like, you tell somebody, I don't like this thing, and then it becomes a joke. It's like, okay, I don't like being called, for instance, I don't like being called sissy, and then everybody's like, hey, sissy, sissy, sissy. Is I don't get it. So there's I don't want to say cultural thing. There's just that habit of just pushing people.
Mhm.
And so, even until recently, all of these things weren't a big deal. Like, if you were the person complaining, you'd be called a sissy. In primary school, there was an incident where all of the so I used to do um people used to have, like, lessons after school, like lessons, especially like in primary three, when
Extramural.
you people, yeah, when you're preparing for common entrance. So, like, we took common entrance in primary four. So from primary three, people started doing, like, lessons. So I already had I already had a lesson teacher at home, but then he's also a teacher in the school, but he wasn't my class teacher. But then my class teacher started his own lessons in class, and you know how it is. Like, it was expected that everybody in the class gets, but I already had my own thing going. Like, I wasn't going to discontinue that, and so we just continued going. And he said something in the class. I can't remember what it was he said, and I told my mom, and of course my mom came to school and was like, gave it to him,
Mhm.
and I became ostracized. So it was like me. And so this is a situation where an older person is encouraging other younger people, do you understand, to be mean to a child. So in that case, like, what you like, this is my class teacher. He's led on this whole, because I'm not doing his lesson, and for some reason, I don't know, like, bullying, I really don't know. And I'm not like the toughest person. But in that, I guess maybe I just had a lot of confidence in my abilities. I don't know. It never really got, like, it didn't, I can't remember anything that it caused me to become or not to become. But it just generally wasn't nice. So, like, I didn't have anybody to play for that period. Like, nobody would play with me. Like, everybody, like, they'll snigger, they'll say certain things, like, oh, um what's it when you're like snitch, not snitch, like, a more child friendly, but snitch, but like jiget.
Yeah.
And it's it's a weird situation. But then at this point now, like, I couldn't report to my mom anymore. I think I still told my mom, and she was like, I should just ignore them. That's his.
Mhm.
So now in
That is the
adulthood, I've
painful part. That is the painful
now
part when you've reported and enough turns to ignore them. So the bad
no,
behavior
because
continues.
no, she
But it's
had
just enough
already
for
done
you to ignore.
something.
Sorry,
she had
Jerry.
already done some. Sorry, she had already spoken to him concerning the issue, but then this, you know
Nothing
how
was
those things
changing.
were like you can't exactly pinpoint. You know all those what's it like? It's kind of on the line.
Mm-hmm. Subtle
What's the where you
is
can claim?
underdeed work.
I forget the word or the phrase where you can plausible deniability exactly. So it's you, me and you know what you're doing, but like a third part, do you understand? It's not really something you can explain conveniently to somebody else. So, but then in adulthood now, like I was very now I've become more mature. I'm very amused at my not amused. Like I'm sometimes I look at myself, I'm like, wow, you are really becoming an adult. But I used to have a short fuse. Like before it even gets to the point where we are dragging, you already know where I stand. So, and honestly, I believe in testosterone. Like just maybe don't go like full scale mad person, but just let them know that it is
I
possible.
told you what happened where I lost my mind. I told you now, last year, late last year, where
Me?
one of them throw chair, come stomp, come meet me, say like this. I can say, what do you want to do? I dare you. Like
Mhm.
I was
That's
like,
how
I
we roll
will not
now.
go
Very
out. I said,
good.
I know I'm going to end up for hospital, oh, but
That's how
this
we
thing will
roll.
not put you there first.
We die together.
Yeah.
Now imagine, now went to cry to call her father.
My father
When
said,
I
I'll go and call him from
say,
grave.
now me be the bad person.
That's how it is.
Oh,
So I mean, you're not
how
trying
do
to
you
make
fight
friends.
this one?
You're not trying to make friends anymore, because like I mean, none of them is trying to be your friend. So
No,
it's like you get to
I
that
said
point
it
where
in
no
the class. I
problem.
didn't come here to make friends, oh. I came here to learn.
Exactly.
I said it all her. I didn't come here to make friends. I came to learn. So, in as long as I'm inside this class, I will not tolerate anybody using any stupid language on my head. But the thing is that, okay, when somebody tells me shut up, what am I going to do? I go sapa.
Yeah. No.
I
And
can't
so
now. I mean,
another
in UK, I
angle,
stop, I'm a better prison. So, what do I do? And he's like, and
I would
the one looked at me straight eyeball and said, okay, shut up. What are you going to do about it? I just said you should shut up. And I'm saying you should shut up again. And I'm saying you should shut up again. What are you going to do about it? There's nothing I could do.
but that's provocation.
But
I
who won't follow me here? That one. Who won't follow me here? That is the
I
problem.
no,
I really don't want to
that's
make
not
it
even like a
about me
healthy.
because, as I said, I actually went online because I was like, this bullying thing is becoming a bit too whatever. Is it me? Because then one person said, maybe your behavior is what is prompting the bullying. I was like, are we okay? I hand in my work at the right time. When they give us instruction, I'm the first to do it. When they, anything, because again, I'm the eldest, I am the most responsible. But then a teacher will come into the class and say something like, none of you here have any sense that God gave you. I'm older than the
No.
teacher.
Most normal.
I'm
I
like,
think as
Talabawi,
DJ,
who are you talking to me? Together with them. And then they say, oh, I'm going to look for a responsible person to handle the class and call the one person who has been bullying everybody and say, that's the responsible person. And I'm sitting inside the class. What do I do?
Because the
I think
teachers
as
realize they don't
DJ
have the
said that
followership.
I think as
That's the
DJ
truth.
said, like I mean, I'm already not light, so I would escalate it. Like I will bring trouble. I will bring trouble until since let there not be peace. No peace. Everybody, if I'm not going to have peace, nobody will have peace.
No justice, no peace.
No peace, no. Nobody's
Mother
having peace.
the mother is choosing violence. Okay, let me read comments because again, I know that is my experience that triggered this, but I know that there are a lot of people who are going through this. Someone actually sent me a message and said, Abby, I'm going through this right now in my office. And the thing is,
Oh,
I can't
sorry,
pull the race
my
cards because
internet
then it's like, oh,
disconnected.
she's pulling the race card. She's the only black person there, you know. So like, I'm sort of weak and powerless because if I try and take any form of action, the only way it's going to look like is I am pulling a card. Either I'm pulling a race card that, oh, I'm the only black woman here, therefore I expect to be given preferential
Pull
treatment,
it. Pull
or
it.
I'm the youngest person in here, therefore.
Pull the card. Whatever is at your disposal, use it.
Well, she's actually watching. So, if anybody has got any advice, this person is the youngest in the department and the only black, and being terrorized by the older people in the class, in the department is where she works. So I'm not mentioning names, but she's watching. So if you want,
Yeah, in situations like that, use whatever you have to fight your battle. I mean, if it comes to the fact that is it because I'm a Muslim? Is it because I'm black? Is it because I'm a woman? I'll use it. I will use it, whatever it takes.
Dr. Senu, please don't go yet. Because he wants to go and he's saying some really heavy things.
Mhm.
Don't go yet, please. Oh yeah, Nana. So you're saying use the card. DJ,
Yes.
Mata is having a Niger problem, but she'll come back. I know she will come back. Yvonne, what advice would you give? Because I don't want, as I said, I don't want it to be purely about me. Because again, there are many people going through this thing. So,
Mhm.
what advice would you give to this one person who has sent me a message?
Yvonne has entered voicemail.
Okay, DJ.
In all honesty, I don't feel comfortable giving advice because it's a unique situation. I don't want to give generic advice. I mean, if I was just speaking generically, I could, but usually with unique situations, there's all sorts of different contexts that must be taken into consideration.
Let's do generic because she doesn't want to be identified
Yeah.
in which shape or form. So I have to respect whatever the person wants.
When you've got all this going on, look for an ally. Find an ally. Find someone to talk to who will listen to you, even if all they're going to do is listen. Find someone who you can open up to, who would. Some people could have the courage to fight your corner. Some people could just be a shoulder for you, because it can be hard. It can be hard. It can be really, really tough when you're being bullied. If the organization has a reporting structure, use it to report bullying. A lot of organizations, because they know that if they don't deal with it, it can come back and bite them. That's the truth. It can come back and bite them really hard. Speak to HR. When you report a case of bullying, HR will take it up because they know that if it doesn't, it could cost the organization. So speak to them and say, I am. It doesn't mean that they're going to fight your corner, but they will address the issue. That much I do. And what I mean by that is they will address the issue. They would escalate it. So speak to HR. I'm speaking coming from an HR background, even though I've not practiced for a very long time.
Deji, I wanted you to finish that. I worked with the co-op in HR, right? And you know how it can be sometimes in this country where your manager has never been to school, didn't go beyond secondary school, but they work their way in the organization till they get to a position of leadership. And two of my immediate direct bosses, they didn't go beyond secondary school.
Okay.
But they became HR managers. So of course,
but I'll quickly point out that even though they may not have got, it doesn't mean they're not good HR managers.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just pointing out something because there's a reason why I said that. So there are 5 of us that were. It was a floor of about 150 people, and there were just 5 of us that were black people there. But that's not even the issue. One by one, one thing will happen. One person will go. We just reduce. You understand? And the day I started work, somebody passed me a note and said, watch your back. They hate you being here. So I was like, who I know? I don't know anybody for here now. I just came to work. Mm. Anyways, it was now, micromanaging.
Mm-hmm.
Because of my disability, I wasn't working the full hours,
Mm-hmm.
yet I was given the same workload as people doing full hours.
Mm-hmm.
And then micromanagements. Did you do this right? Yes, I did. Did you do that right? Yes. Every tiny
Mm-hmm.
little thing coming to check. And it's like, yeah, I did it. Then tomorrow I'll come. Oh, I looked at something, you got it wrong. No, I didn't. Because me, I know say they go check me, so they check myself.
Mm-hmm.
There's like, hey, what about this? Look at that. That's the answer there. Oh, okay, okay. Like that, constant harassment. So there's a friend, an ally that I was speaking to and everything. And I said, you know what? I can't take this anymore. I'm going to go and report. And she told me, you report, just know that your time in this place is limited. You're going to go. Say because HR, say you're in HR, but HR will never want to admit liability that this thing is happening in the department. And then once you is that like that Yoruba saying that you don't go to court and then come back and become friends. Once
Mm-hmm.
you go and report, you are enemy number one in that place that you are. As true, swear to God, I know last 1 year, I go report. I know last 1 year, I was in
Yeah.
hospital. I had an accident at work. I was in hospital when they sent termination letter to my house,
Mm-hmm.
say, for my own good.
Because you're not a team player.
You know what I'll say very quickly. Now, the thing is,
So
bullying.
it's not always if you know that you have small change at home that you can use to sustain yourself at home, then go and report. But if you need
Can,
that
can I,
money,
the thing about bullying is this, and this is the reality. You need to make a decision, right? You need to make a decision. Sometimes it's, do I want to fight or do I want to leave? And there's nothing wrong with leaving. If you're not being valued and respected someone, you can make a choice to leave if you don't want to fight. That's the truth, So sometimes, some people say, yeah, don't leave for them. Sometimes, leave,
for peace of mind, ba.
leave. So
It depends
sometimes,
on what you are after, what you want to achieve. Is it
yeah,
worth the trouble?
whenever, I do feel that, sometimes if you're up for the fight, fight. Personally, and there are times when I would want to fight. There are sometimes when I just think, you know what, I've got to choose my battles and manage my energy. But
Mm-hmm.
the thing is, you've got to ask yourself, do I want to fight or do I want to manage my energies and go where I'm celebrated rather than where I'm tolerated? That's a personal decision. I can't make that decision for an
For
individual. I'm
anybody.
not the kind of person who will say, don't let them do that to you. Don't, no, sometimes you might just decide, you know what, ain't worth it. Ain't worth it. If you don't value me here, I'll go where they value me and I would serve there. Now, having said that, but if you're going to fight, and this is the thing, before you decide to fight, you've got to ask yourself, how far can this go? And am I willing to go that far? If the answer is yes, then fight. Um, they will keep on pushing. Ultimately, last you go to tribunal. And most of the time, this is the truth. As long as you play your game properly and you keep good records what have been done, and you're consistently challenging and you've addressed it, and this is how it's addressed. You go to before it goes far in tribunal, they'll settle you because they don't want. You know what? An organization I used to work for, they bragged about the fact that they've never lost a case at tribunal. What they don't talk about is how many situations they've had to settle.
Settle behind. Yeah.
So they brag that they've never had lost a tribunal case. But what they don't say is some situations when they realize, they quickly go and settle so that they can keep their clean record. But
Mm.
going to tribunal, it takes a lot. It means that the organization has failed you. So when the organization has failed you, which means you've gone to report to your manager's manager, they haven't handled it. You've gone to HR has not handled it, and still this has happened. There's nowhere else to go. You go to tribunal. You take your organization to tribunal, and as long as you've got a good case, and that's why after that has happened, your organization, the next time that kind of thing happens, right, they will give it more attention. But when everybody keeps leaving, they kind of feel like, yeah, we're doing our thing. The moment one person, it takes one person to fight.
I fight though, but hunger catch me for 2 years.
Yeah,
Because
that's
I'm
it.
passing up for house, they look. And work I no see. Me and hunger strike, we were 5 and 6. But at the end of the day, am I glad that I left? I'm glad.
Yeah, and that's
Well,
the key
I
thing.
wasn't. I didn't leave. I was pushed out. But I'm glad that I'm not
It
doing what I
happened.
love. Sometimes you have to. Sometimes you see that coconut head. You want to stay there, but they will push you out. And then when they push you out, you now realize that they actually did you a favor. Like,
Yeah.
what was I even fighting for? Safe. Say on this pound sterling, these pounds that the last name is sterling. God in everything, God has provided. And the funny thing is that my colleagues who reach out and say, that manager, the two of them, they sacked both of them. Bang, bang, no. In fact, within 3 months of me being out, both of them were retrenched.
Yeah, karma always takes place.
There you go. So, my dear friend, you've heard the advice. You have to decide. I'm sure we will talk later after the show, anyways. But you have to decide whether it's worth the fight and how far you are willing to go. You have to look at your own peculiarities concerning where you are. Like me, whether they like it or not, I go do that course because I know what my eye have seen. Since I've done my year one, I'm now in my year two. I'm going to do my year three and graduate and get out of there because I need that knowledge for the next step of my life that I'm going into.
That's it.
So that's why, whether they like it or not, we die there.
Mhm.
So let me read the comments and then we'll close because we're getting to 2 hours. Hey, plenty to you. Dr. Senu just refused to join us today. Nana is upset.
In fact, that's an understatement.
So Dr. Senu said, DJ, but that is an adult teaching children. He was talking about what you say, the woman deserves a slap. So she was talking about my situation that is an adult teaching children. So DJ, I hear you and you make sense. But as I mentioned earlier, assertive is fine, but if it's subtle, then one must not make it easier for them to hide their bad behavior. You describe the right way, but if that does not work, one must find another way. Being very clever means making one position impossible to challenge. But if there is a gang up against you, you may have to go. The very subtle but real intimidation and harassment is real. One may not always get results by being bloody minded, but being chased out is also not an option. Terrible culture, but if one needs to recognize it for what it is. Hey, this thing has jumped. Hold on. Nana is right. Maybe not ignore, but find deflecting. It's me that call you Nana. Sorry. Maybe not ignore, but find deflecting mechanisms. It is not always about racism, though. Got a dash. I'm 6'4". I'm 6 foot tall, bulky black man, ex-military, hard to bully, but they try. So even he that is
Who is
ex-military,
that one talking?
Dr. Senu, said they
Oh,
try. The love
he's
has
6
grown
feet.
more. I knew
Oh,
it
no,
was
no.
they hard to bully, but they try. And mostly a lot is just cunning behavior and toxic manipulation. Is never ending. Sorry was on the road. I agree, generic advice may seem pat. The problem with reporting is the need to have very specific incidents, time, place, etc. So many HR may be dismissive. I had a case which took a very friendly lawyer to help. Too many tricks. Abby, true, you will eventually go. Yes, log. So then Peter Kalu says, yes, log the incidents. I have been writing down because we have something called logbooks. So I've been writing down every incident that happens. I've been writing it down. But again, when now only me they write down because it's a case of my version versus their version.
Exactly. And there are
So
more.
so it's just right. But you know what? This is actually giving me because I honestly have to confess this thing has kept me up many nights. Even last night, I couldn't sleep because I was just playing back all the, the quack under G behavior and like, ha, can it pay? I was in Lagos. Bí ìbá ṣe ṣe báyìí, ká ní pé it's not that they're not gonna call police for me. In fact, police came to college today. I was like, abi they don't call police. I first all stood, I was like looking at the police car. That is it me they brought it for. So in fact, and again, the thing is that paranoid behavior because you start to wonder, is this person my friend? Is this one talking to me because I want to get information to and give them? That kind of thing. And it's not healthy. And I actually realized I'm not in a healthy situation. And it's one of the reasons why I said, you know what, I'll discuss this with my people and maybe pick up some tips which I think I have and just be like, you know what, I will stay out of your way. I'll not involve myself in your nonsense so that it will be very clear. Say, na jeje, jeje, I sit down. Now you waka, come meet me. I think that's the way to go now.
Yeah.
Like, where I am has no business with you. So why are you here?
Create
Then
a bubble around you.
conversation then. Sorry, what did you say, Nana?
I said create a bubble around you. So anybody penetrates that bubble, you're in my space.
Yeah, my space because I know come your space. So I hope anyone who is going through this, I hope you've been able to figure out, find some coping mechanisms. I'm sure that there's still more. And if you want us to continue a part two, maybe there's a specific story you want to share, please do not hesitate. I want to say a massive shout out to DJ Abbas. Hey, this is they bust my brain. DJ Abbas, Dr. Professor Chris Aimaku, of course, Yvonne Opwari, Mr. H, who had to go away because he was busy with something. Nana Shehu, DJ, thank you so much for the mic. Can you hear it? Can you hear the mic? Did you hear it? Is here? That's why I'm so loud.
Abby, my husband will tell you to go return in bride price. Why they call my maiden name?
Let's Opwari.
Before.
That's what you said.
Hey, I'm sorry. I'm not Binu.
Here.
Tip off mouth and teeth.
You know, he has not finished paying us. He has not finished paying us.
Yes, okay, thank you.
He has not finished paying us.
I always value and appreciate your presence every time. And then of course, so all the people in the comment section,
Amata.
commentary, and one in your commentary. Sister Yevisi Gwajami Amila, Dr. Sendo, Sister Ebidusha Godare, Peter Kalu, my dearest. But I love this man, guy. He has never given up on me one day. He will call me to 1,000 things. I won't go, and he still won't give up on me. Sister Inka Wala, who else has been there? Let's see. Trying to see. Okay, I think that is it. And we've had a good audience also. So everybody who is watching us, thank you so much. Truly appreciate the time you have spent with us. I hope that you've picked something. If you are in either my situation or in some of the situations that have been mentioned, keep strong. You are not alone, and just hang in there. Either show it or just decide to mark the part of peace till you can get out, in a way. Don't risk your livelihood though, because outside is hot now. Owo is not plentiful, so let us be guided in the way we move. But you know what, in everything, let's just keep being grateful, keep moving forward. I have a saying that I say to myself in college every day: don't get mad, Abby, get grit. I always tell myself that. Anytime something happens, I say, don't get mad, Abby, get grit. So whatever you are doing, make sure you are great at it.
We can be mad and great at the same time, Sha.
I can be mad and great at the
Not allow that get issue.
I knew you just like violence. You like violence.
Exactly. Not allow this
like
get
violence.
issue. Act very like that.
Peace is not an option.
Thank you. Take care. After party, people wait behind. Thank you, guys. Take care and be blessed. Bye.
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 Hey.
You shall violence. You like